All right, so these are a few quick notes on Elon Musk's Hitler salutation. One of the things that to me is most remarkable about it is that despite all these missiles, excuses, and attempts at finessing the episode, what one can clearly see is the movement in the gesture and the vehemence in the gesture, which to me indicates a clear intention. It's not merely the sort of pointing finger after touching someone's heart, which is associated mostly, I think, with sports, in which somebody offers one's love. Um, but it is done under that guise in a gesture that includes the palm, the full palm downwards, and the arm fully stretched. But what to me was also noticeable is the clenched jaw and the sort of grimacing face, which to some degree is consistent with, I think, has become the promise of violence that the Trump machine in its many sort of avatars and in its many guises has offered. Now, of course, one could say, well, look, I mean, this is just an awkward guy in an awkward gesture. And it perhaps one could even say this was simply an infelicitous moment in which the guy caught off guard, did not know exactly how to respond. He just did something that is liable to being misinterpreted by perhaps a fault of his own, but no ill was actually intended. Um, I think that the problem with that calculation, which is one that I have heard a lot over the last couple of days, consistently, both in the US, but most importantly in Europe, here in Germany, is that it disregards, in my mind, it conveniently disregards Musk's political affiliations in Europe, not least his relation with the Alternative for Germany here in Germany, where the political party is under, in many of its parts, is under investigation by internal intelligence for essentially anti-constitutional behavior. In Germany, that essentially means attempts at establishing a political order that essentially overthrows the order of the state as it is contained in the constitution. Now, one might have all sorts of complaints and qualms about the state of German democracy, the public sphere, freedom of expression, and so on. But I think that the overarching point is that the AfD is the inheritor of a very specific political culture and political tradition, and that is the German far right, which sort of build around notions of German conservatism before, during the Nazi period, and beyond the Nazi period in far right parties that essentially try to recuperate Nazi ideology or Nazi symbolism and so on. Furthermore, it actually undermines the strong relation that Musk has built with other neo-fascists around Europe, not least Giorgia Meloni and her Fratelli d'Italia in Rome, who are direct inheritors not only of fascism, but actually count in their sort of pantheon with people like Giorgio Almirante, the father of the modern Italian far right, direct sort of member of the fascist party, who was himself an editor of the Defense of the Race, the fascist, essentially anti-Semitic magazine from which, demands of the deportation of Jews were being made in the Italian public sphere. The man tried to sort of rescue his brand by renouncing his past. And it was in that context that Giorgia Meloni became his kind of political granddaughter, so to say, but very much people that were associated with the Mussolini project, with the deportation project, joint project of Italians and Germans, and very much so with the post-war attempts at rehabilitating fascism within the Italian social movement, which was the post-war Italian fascist party. And then beyond that, what we have is a very, very unclear association, in some cases openly expressing allegiances, but still unclear in terms of dynamics, with the far right in Romania, with the far right in the UK, with the far right, obviously, in the US, and with the far right in Latin America. So to me, there was nothing innocent about this expression. It was actually one that is very much consistent, almost impossibly, impossibly, uh, impossibly lost to those who understand not so much the gestural elements, but the contextual elements of Musk's politics. My great fear remains that as of right now, what we're seeing is not only the emergence of a new international axis that has captured the capitals of the Allied forces, but we are actually seeing the name of the minister of propaganda of that new axis. What that means for the future of democracy is, as far as I'm concerned, nothing good. Exactly how that will turn out to look remains to be seen. Anyway, if you find this informative and you like the analysis, I invite you please to subscribe, and I invite you to share it with friends and post it, since it is really now my hope to build my Substack community and offer you here the journalism that I used to do at Deutsche Welle and at other international outlets. See you soon. Bye.